over there, girl? Oh, we are back. Tory, what's up, girl?
Hi.
You're a little hot with the mic,
Oh,
but it's better.
sorry.
There was a lot of jostling going on
A lot of
right
fidgeting.
right before the show, but we're glad that you're here now. How was your weekend, baby?
It was okay. It was okay. It was okay.
Oh, just okay.
Yeah, it was just okay. It was
Oh,
okay.
what? Tell us one good thing that you did. All right. My weekend, I was in Syracuse. Shout out to the Funny Bone and all the people that came out this weekend. Had full shows. Was very happy about that. It's always stressful not going to a city not knowing, how the tickets are going to go, especially close to the holidays. But people came out and showed love, so I was super excited about that, and also excited to be in the state of Texas this weekend doing shows. Fort Worth
Ooh.
Friday, Dallas Saturday. Tory, why don't you get your cowgirl hat, get you some pink boots, and come roll out with us?
Well, I'm going to Thanksgiving in DC. Hold on. Hey Siri, stop. Sorry. I am going
Was
to
Siri playing Bummer playlist number 4080?
No, it was sleep sounds. Sleep sounds.
Does that help?
Yeah, and then I keep it on so when I come back in, it's very relaxing in here. One
So
of the
you
Vlads,
want sleep sounds all the time.
yeah, Vlad said to me, one of the Vlads was like, "It feels like a massage in here."
Yeah, I'll just tell you, there's any person that's been in a spa or that just music where you're like you only hear it in that place, where you just hear that and water dripping and people maybe walking in flip-flops. That's what Tori's house sounds like all the time.
That's true.
Well,
That's
that's
true.
good. I'm happy
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, it seems like you're doing better. Seems like you're in a better place. Michael Dean is leaving us, not permanently, but he is leaving on a ship.
When
Tory,
is when is he leaving?
his voyage is on Thanksgiving.
Oh my god.
I know. It's just like
He
us not
leaves
have.
Thursday. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm just telling you guys now, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be that movie, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, but it's with two people that are nearly a century on this planet and still not a whole lot.
Don't know what they're doing. Don't
Not
know what they're doing.
well, Tori, there is something that you do know that you're doing, and I think you need to continue with this good luck. So let's get into this right now. Tori, we're going to get those positive sports vibes going early. Had another great week last week. Won your game. Didn't predict the score right, but you can't be asked to do that. That's
No,
ridiculous.
that's ridiculous.
That would be something that only like one of the X-Men could do. But Tori,
Yeah.
what you can do is tell us what you think is going to go on tonight, the Monday Night Football game between Bryce Young and quarterback for the 49ers named Brock Purdy. Now, Tori, I wanted to tell you about this because this definitely is going to lean on your sports vibes. This game is what you have been, this is what you were born for. Because they're very different quarterbacks, but kind of in very similar positions. Bryce Young was the number one quarterback, can't miss out of a big school in Alabama, but he came in the NFL and he sucked, Tori. He sucked so bad that, he was benched. People were calling him the worst pick of all time. The other quarterback, Brock Purdy, was picked with the last pick in the draft. That last pick is famously called Mr. Irrelevant. And he's the first player that ever came back from being Mr. Irrelevant to a starting quarterback that got a big contract. So, Tori, I ask you, will it be Bryce Young, undersized, overcame adversity after saying he's the worst pick ever to now having the best game of his career last week? Or will it be Brock Purdy, who was Mr. Irrelevant, but he said, nah, NFL, I'm very relevant?
Who are the teams? Oh, the 49ers and the
Carolina Panthers.
Okay,
So
I
Bryce
think that
Bryce Young has Carolina, and Brock Purdy is the 49ers.
I think it's going to be the 49ers. I'm really into San Francisco lately. I like the name Brock Purdy. I think it sounds purdy, and I really do think that the 49ers are going to win. By the way, I had Josh Martin, a linebacker from the Chiefs, on today.
Oh, really?
Yes, and but he is the Smoothie King. He's open to Smoothie King
Where?
in Greenwood Village. I don't know if you guys have it. This is one of them. It's a kale
Oh,
mango. Kale
did you
mango.
get your partner a smoothie? You're just gonna eat it on camera? That's your
No.
that's your swag. That's what's up. All right. Did you tell him that you are an expert football predictor?
No, I should have, but I did say the Broncos and the Chiefs are rivals?
Yes, very
Oh,
much so.
okay.
So, Tory, who's gonna win tonight? And give us a score.
The 49ers are going to win, and it's going to be 28-20.
28-20. The 49ers take it at the crib. Now, there isn't some bias because you just recently visited a friend there, right? This is just
Yeah, and I really liked it. And again, I think the name Brock Purdy, and he's Mr. Irrelevant. He was.
he
The whole
was.
it's such a good story. I'm going with that guy. Is anyone else having the 49ers win?
I always thought that that's like it really symbolizes this country, like calling the last pick in the NFL draft Mr. Irrelevant. If you get picked anywhere, it is a huge accomplishment. And even when you make it to the NFL, you're like, you're irrelevant. You're like, I haven't done anything yet. Like, give me a chance.
Yeah, please, dear God. Don't
Do
be
you know
so
how
cruel.
good you have to be at football for them to even know your name, for your name to be in that mix of names to be? It's like everything we do, it's like, yeah, but you're in the NFL, but you're not famous. It's like I would be happy to just trot on the field and get hit one time and walk right back off the field.
Man, it's always nice to just to be nominated. That's what you have to say.
I mean, yeah, but you can't believe that.
No, I don't think they do. No.
Yeah, I mean, I think the kind of personality that makes it to the NFL is like, I want to take your head off and then be nice in an interview, but there's something inside me that's pushing me to hurt other people for money. So I think that might be part of it. All right, Tory, we got to get to this because this was like, I don't know, this has been percolating for a while on the internet. So I want to know what your thoughts were on this. All right, now, Tory, please tell me that you've seen this woman that's on TikTok, that she's been, I guess, kind of like she's been conducting a social experiment, as she's been saying. Basically, she has a fake crying baby in the background. She calls the church and says, my baby hasn't eaten since yesterday. Do you guys have any formula for this baby to eat? And she did. So far, she's done it with 42 churches. And some have reacted positively. Unfortunately, that'd be 9. 33 have been like, nah, sorry, dog. 33 churches. So, Tory, Michael Dean, do we have that footage? Tory, have you seen this?
No, I haven't, but I have heard you talk about it.
Yes. I mean, it is, I don't know if Michael Dean said we have a clip of it, but yeah, she, here it is.
Feed a starving baby. And right now we are calling the First Baptist Church in Dallas, Texas, to see if they would feed a starving baby.
Maybe somebody needs to learn to edit these. Good baby sound coming in. The music is terrifying for a church.
First Baptist Dallas, this is Sheila. May I help you?
Hi, yes. I was calling to see if y'all by chance had any like baby formula.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I have a 2-month-old and I ran out of formula last night, so she's gone all night and all day without formula. I was wanting to see if there's any way y'all could get like a small can of baby formula.
I can transfer you to our benevolence. Hold on.
Okay. Like bringing in somebody else.
At the
The
tone,
voice
please
now.
record your
We're gonna call
message.
back.
When you finish. First Baptist Dallas, this is Sheila. May I help you?
Hi, yes. Nobody answered when you switched me over.
No one answered. Did
Yeah.
you leave a message for them?
No, I'm just trying to. I mean, she's gone all night and all day without formula, so I'm just trying to make sure like somebody can answer. So I didn't know if you could just let me know if it's something that y'all could do.
I'm not aware of any programs that we have like that to help you. Sorry.
Okay, hold on just 1 second while I turn off my baby. Okay.
Okay, Michael Dean, we can
Okay, so
stop
I'm
it right
actually
there.
conducting a social
She
experiment to see
she
if.
goes on to let them know that this was a social experiment. And people, Tory, I'm looking at people in the comments right now. So interesting because some people are calling her a scammer. Renee says, is she testing these churches? Renee, yes, she is. She's testing the churches. It was interesting during the government's shutdown, Tory. You saw humanity spring up. You saw people donate to food banks. You saw comedy shows collect canned goods. You saw people trying to take up for their fellow neighbor. And I saw this black TikToker that was like, "Where's all these mega churches after the SNAP funds were set to expire?" And I think it's a fair question. These churches make a lot of money, not in their pockets, but they don't pay taxes. That's a big deal. And their whole shtick is we're here for the people. Jesus washed the feet of the homeless. You feed the poor. But we've had, at least not even counting the one we're about to discuss now, we had a real life situation with SNAP benefits expiring, and churches had an opportunity to step up. And I was kind of, I hadn't even thought about that we hadn't heard anything from them. So what do you think about that situation briefly, but more to do with like just when you see a clip like this, what do you think initially?
I don't know if I liked her angle with the starving baby and the way she did it. I mean, I get the point. I get the point she's trying to make, but like if I don't know, I see her point. I just don't know if that like I don't know. I don't know if I like it. It makes me feel a little bit weird. But I do want to give this famous quote to you, Al. It's from Carter, and they say Jimmy Carter said it, but I think that might be false. But anyway, it's a great quote. It says, if you don't want your tax dollars to help the poor, then stop saying you want a country based on Christian values because you don't. I would add Judeo-Christian values to that because you don't. Oh, Al, you're frozen in such a bad way.
No,
No, you're
I'm
back.
listening.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm listening. Sorry. I was
No, you're
listening to
really
what you're
funny.
saying.
I do agree with you about the mega churches. That's a great point about the SNAP benefits and where were they? I know 9 News did a big food cares drive and we raised a lot, but it is interesting to see the Joel Osteens of the world not step up in that issue after all the money they make, the private jets. I mean, remember that guy who was like, God told me I needed a jet. Yeah, we can see you,
Yeah.
Marcy. We can see you, boo-boo. Can you repeat that? Okay, it's Jimmy Carter, guys, and it's famously attributed to him, but there's a question if it's him or not. Okay, you ready? Okay. If you don't want your tax dollars to help the poor, then stop saying you want a country based on Judeo-Christian values because you don't.
Well, Tory, what whoever gave that quote is trying to say, and why I think it had such a lasting impact on you, and why I think it's a great quote is I think society runs so well for the most part
Yeah.
that we forget about it. It's almost like an autonomic response, like our body, like we don't think about breathing in and out every second that we're alive. It just happens.
Right.
You take your trash out on Thursdays, and on Friday the can is empty. You go to a basketball game. The streets that take you there are paved. The stoplights work. There's somebody working the parking lot, etc. All these things in society, people have set up so that your life can go as smoothly as possible. And I understand people's frustration because trust me, I'm there with you. These politicians take our tax dollars and do everything with them what we want. But I think a lot of that has to do with who we elect. And that's why I always say when it comes to a politician that is always is trying to be edgy, is trying whatever their angle is, I'm anti-woman, I'm pro this, men can say this. I'm just always like, how come you're not talking about anything that would affect my life? I don't care how you feel about a trans person trying to play baseball. Like, let's talk about these potholes. And they'd rather talk about the trans issue and women swimming because that is an existential conversation we could have forever. The idea of actually like, is this going to be done on the 18th of this month? That's a conversation they don't want to have. Why did you vote against SNAP benefits when you came to our district and our town hall and you said you would never do that? those are questions they don't want to ask. So answer. So I don't know, Tory. I look at this and I wonder if it's time that we start questioning our churches as much as we do our politicians. You're taking in a lot of money. You're paying no
They're
taxes.
tithing. That's right. The no taxes,
Yeah.
the tithing. I do find it interesting, Al, that who did give the baby formula from Michael Dean. He says a Buddhist temple, an Islamic mosque, and a few Black Christian churches all came through with baby formula for her. Man. Look, I'm not saying that all churches need to have baby formula at the ready, but they could have at least given her a place in which she could go, a food bank, something like that. But it's interesting who comes through, isn't it?
It's the quiet ones, Tori. I've been telling you when we would cover 5 terrible stories in a row, and there are just so many good people. And Tori, you're cutting a lot of slack to the churches, because I know if you had gotten this phone call,
oh my God, I would have found some way.
You would have jumped up, thrown some clothes on, located this woman, and gone over there. Yeah,
no,
there's no way. You wouldn't just be like, oh, Al, I got this crazy phone call. Anyway, do you want to go to the movies? Like, your day wouldn't be able to move forward until look at all the red is all the churches that said no.
Wow.
And Tori, a little bit of good news is I saw that some of these churches, because she posted her results, the ones that did end up donating have been flooded with donations for their food banks. Because people, what do they say in hip hop? Real recognize real. I mean, everybody can say we're for the people, but the people needed help right then. And you transfer her to your benevolence, which is an amazing transfer.
By the way, Joel, really quick, just to end this, did Joel Osteen get in trouble for not opening that church during a flood or a hurricane?
Hurricane.
Oh,
yeah.
What? Sorry, guys, if you man, that is just outrageous. That is outrageous.
You know what's
weird, how much
Tori?
money he makes? Man, sorry.
Tori,
wow.
No. Why are you being sorry? Because it's weird. We're just like, well, we got to move on. To each their own. Why is it that the people that we entrust to be the best of us, churches, things, whether it's a church or a cop or a judge, we expect more from you. You're given more, you're given more leeway with the public. Why is it that when we question, hey, where's that money? Hey, what up with not feeding the baby? There's a part of you, Tori, that feels bad about that. Like, is that just conditioning? Why don't they have to show that they're doing what we basically pay them? We allow them to not pay taxes to do.
I agree. I also think there's a strict difference between church and state in this country, and yet somehow they don't have to pay taxes. It's always been an issue for me. Always. It's always been an issue. A lot of people, yeah, I know what you mean, Just Me. She says social experiences are one thing. Posting them on TikTok to get clicks is another. There are other ways to get a church's attention than embarrassing someone innocent. I don't know. I didn't love the way she went about it, and I'm repeating myself, so I'm sorry. But it's very fascinating that during the SNAP benefits, I didn't hear a lot about food banks at the churches. I heard a lot of municipal governors, things like that stepping up, but it's interesting. Very, very interesting.
And I will say this, because I know talking about churches is very delicate for a lot of people, and I respect that. And I know a lot of people on the thread are probably church-going folks. You know what I heard when I heard the phone call of the guy that accepted that he said, I'll find the formula for you. And the church where she got transferred a bunch of times, it had to do with size, it seemed like, Tori. When the guy that said, I'll get some baby formula for you, that was him. That was the guy that ran that church. It sounded like that woman called Verizon headquarters. She's getting transferred. There's hold music. And at some point, do you think that churches are just kind of like, whether they want to or not, because there's so many people, they become corporations?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it's nice when my rabbi knew my name, my family's name. I mean, that kind of community is really important.
All right. Well,
I don't know how I believe in mega churches. I really don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I've always felt like that feels so informal, and I always feels like a money grab to me. But I feel horrible saying that, because I'm sure some of them are wonderful and have given people a lot of support.
course.
But it just felt like a mega church. It just doesn't feel like, it almost feels like an oxymoron, like mega church. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's strange. That could be its own episode, but I want to go down that rabbit hole. We won't. Let's go down this rabbit hole. Tory, it's Thanksgiving, but that means we can also run this one. All right, Tory, Thanksgiving. Busiest travel time of the year, which is why I've always said Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday because it's the only one where people really try hard to get home. And that means something. I think that's really cool. And I like that the food isn't fancy. So, Tory, are you going to be traveling for the holidays? I won't say Thanksgiving specifically because we don't want to let people know when you're going to be there and when you're not going to be there.
I will be traveling home. I'm going home to get some good and unconditional love. And hopefully I can have enough appetite to get a turkey and some stuffing. I'm trying to eat more. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it, just to be in like my mom. I get to smell my mom again in her closet. For those of you who don't know, my mom has passed. It's not like she's standing there and I'm just smelling.
That would be that would be my strange addiction. My daughter won't stop smelling me.
Yeah, but I like being home, especially now when you're going through it. Something I learned really important is to have those that like unconditionally love you be by your side. So I'm really looking forward to that. And just like, bonding with family is important right now for me. So what about you, Al?
I think what you said is very important. And I think we've kind of lost that in a way.
Yeah.
I've had two different conversations, and I'll leave it at that. Matter of fact, you were involved with one of them where people are talking about like all kind of moving together, like close together and
Yes.
separate dwellings, but like kind of because I think people are craving that community that just used to be just accepted. Like, oh yeah, Tori, my aunt, she lives around the corner, and like my mom's best friend, she's next to her. I don't know as many people that stayed in their neighborhood as the ones that left, and I think the people that left probably did for the right reasons, work or more opportunity. But every action is a reaction, and the reaction to me moving at such a young age when I was 18 is I'm not as close with a lot of my family as I wish I was, and it's tough for me to get there because I don't know them, because I didn't have a chance to build those bonds.
Yeah. And
so
you know what?
it's important, I think, to go home and be with your people. It's a long story short.
And even if it's a small group of people, I don't know. I think I took for granted and advantage of my family, just being there, just like always having them. And now when you're in it, when you're in the storm, they're like anchors that you're just so grateful you have. It's just like, thank the Lord I have my dad and my sister. It's going to be small and my cousins, but it's just, I can't tell you, when you're in it, you really are so grateful and you don't take them for granted anymore.
It's so interesting. There's two different ways that I think people seek refuge with their people. Some like to be in a large group where they're like, you know what, I feel most at home going to a packed soccer game with 90,000 fans all screaming and we all love this team. And other people seek refuge like you, and I think probably myself, we're just a few people that I'm really close with.
Yeah.
Like that's me feeling most at home, but either one I think works for your soul, So
Totally.
Long story short, I'll be here in Denver before I go to Dallas and Fort Worth.
Nice.
So we called Dr. Jackie, friend of the podcast, and she is sending us some recipes.
Nice.
So we're gonna be making Jackie's greens, sweet potato pie, and black eyed peas.
Nice.
Let me ask the colleagues this really quickly. Can you do black eyed peas? Should you wait till New Year's to do black eyed peas because that's the traditional New Year's dish? Do you do New Year's dishes, Tori?
Yeah, we have lobster and champagne. Oh, that came out real bushy.
You have lobster and champagne? That is something that
we have like a black
Jay-Z
tie
should
thing.
be saying. Yeah, that is such a baller. Are you Rick Ross? I eat it off of the stomach of a model of my choosing.
Oh God!
They signed an NDA.
Yeah, it was a black tie. It was like really. It would be so much fun. I don't know if we'll do it ever again now that my mom's gone, but.
Well, that's an even better question, isn't it? Do you guys start? Maybe you keep one old tradition and start a new one.
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
If you were going to start a new tradition, what would it be? It's got to be something fun. Shot in a beer.
No, my family doesn't really drink, just me. Like macaroni and cheese. A lot of people do black eyed peas for New Year's, they are saying.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like I get the New Year's thing, and that's why I'm like, is it breaking the New Year's good luck having it on Thanksgiving as well?
I feel you. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's saying New Year's. It looks like I'm getting a thumbs down. They're like, "Hey, don't be messing with tradition." All right, Tory. Speaking of tradition, we got to do this. That's right, Tory. Guess what? Letitia James and James Comey may be walking before anything ever got started.
I know.
I mean, this is, as somebody that is way outside of legalities and things like that, this seems like this was embarrassing. This seems like your team showed up without proper uniform regulations. And they're like, you can't even go in the outfield with that hat. It doesn't have a brim. Like, it's just like, what?
It's a beanie. Why are you wearing it?
They're like, we thought this was this is regulated. This seems really embarrassing. Tory, why don't you tell everybody about the James Comey and Letitia James case being tossed?
Okay, so a district court judge, has come forward and said that the person who indicted them, and her name is Lindsay Halligan, and it's someone that Trump wanted a one-off for and basically imposed himself without getting the Senate's approval. And he thought he could do it because of this appointments clause. And I know I'm getting the weeds, but this judge has just said today, you have how do you say this? Unplugged the whole thing because you actually weren't allowed to appoint Lindsay Halligan. She was wrongfully appointed, right, and you broke the appointments clause. So once anything that happened after that has to be dismissed, including James Comey and Letitia James's indictments. Now get this. I did hear from Jer.
Oh,
I know.
I'm like super excited. I didn't know you'd heard from Jer.
Jer is, this is what he said. A bizarre twist, everyone.
I like that your dad texts like that. I really
wrote a whole thing
intrigued by him. Yes.
Yeah, it's really interesting. A bizarre twist is that Comey's indictment was actually issued only a few days before the statute of limitations would have run on the crime of which he was accused. So since the indictment was dismissed, albeit with leave to amend, that's albeit, the question arises as to whether it is now too late to charge him or if the statute is told pending. I don't know the answer to that question. So that's super interesting that his statute of limitations is coming. I mean, it was such a non-legit, it was such a vindictive indictment. There's also, they were going to run on vindictive prejudice and do all those things too. But just to know that if even Lindsay Halligan wasn't even allowed to be on there was like, oh God.
And you know who must be super happy is Lindsay Halligan, because she had never argued a criminal case.
Ever. Do
you understand how that's literally my cousin Vinny. Your first case is to keep your nephew from going to the electric chair in the South. Like, that is, I know she was like probably at lunch, like, hold on one second. I gotta box my food up. Apparently, I'm going after the former head of the FBI.
And not only that, if you guys remember, Trump suggested Halligan by a mistaken tweet that he actually truth socialed and was like, Pam Bondi, you need to look at Lindsay Halligan. It was like, oh God.
Yes,
she also was accused
slipping a little bit.
Yeah, totally. She was accused, Halligan, of making grievous errors in the grand jury indictment as well. So underprepared, also unconstitutional. So
yes, and when you say grievous errors, I'm not going to get this correct because I heard this right before I left for my for Syracuse. But basically, she copy and pasted, like something, like literally, it was something. And the judge was like, "How did you?"
I think there was AI too.
Yeah, it was like, how, because she had to write something up, and she did it. So the judge was like, "How do you have this?"
Yeah,
and it was. I mean, Tory, this is a bad one. It's a bad look.
It's a bad look all around. And of course, she's a young, blonde, hot-looking attorney, which Trump always seems to enjoy. But yeah, it was a really bad. Someone said the whole thing was a cluster, and I would agree with you as well.
I would say that. Well, Tory, I think that means that we need to move on. Oh, yes. Shout out to Spider, Moving, and Storage. That's right. Tory, they've been with us since day one, both of the Vlads. Really, part of the reason this podcast is going, not only because they support us, but they've literally moved our stuff so we could be sitting here. Vlad moved the desk that I'm currently talking on to this point because I'm 500 years old. Shout out to Spider Moving and Storage. Tory, read that number, please.
720-545-3187.
All right, there was a little bit of a pregnant pause at the end there, but we're going to keep rolling. Tory, do you know who else is going to keep rolling? A judge in Missouri. That's right. The judge, there's a lot of judges in Missouri, but this one is important because he wore an Elvis wig and played the singer's music in front of the court. And Tory, you're going to be shocked he was forced to step down.
What?
Yeah. Yes, I need to read this for the people. A Missouri judge who wore an Elvis Presley wig in his courtroom and played the singer's music from his phone, never a good idea, during court proceedings has agreed to a deal that would cut his career on the bench short. Tory, are you seeing what? Okay. Judge Matthew Thornhill in suburban St. Louis faces a 6-month unpaid suspension under the deal that he reached with the state to avoid disciplinary. I think that photo going out is enough of a disciplinary action. I'd be like, I will give you naked photos of me so you don't put that one out.
How about what Gigi says? What the Johnny Neutron is going on over there?
It doesn't really look like any version of Elvis except AI where you put the prompts in wrong. You're like Elvis, the future king of rock and roll, if he was a right-leaning judge. That's the strangest picture I've ever seen.
By the way, was it for Halloween? That's a great question.
I am not seeing anything.
He did do it around Halloween. Okay. There is something called decorum in the courtroom, but if it's around Halloween, like,
well, what is around? I don't see anything about Halloween, but
you could
probably
be the fun judge. Like, there's fun rabbis that play guitar and dress up and, like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's just a bad look.
Yeah, but that's not fun for you. I mean, don't you have rights, Tory?
Yeah, there's decorum. Yeah,
if you're gonna put me in jail and pull apart my life for some actions that I may have done, I don't want you dressed like one of the Wiggles. Because even though that would be a good story, maybe grounds for dismissals. So, and I actually thought about that, Tory. When I looked at this picture, I'm like, can your lawyer circle back and say we want at least another trial? We can't. That's not a judge or jury of my peer.
Yeah, you could have done contempt of court for the judge himself. I mean, that's. I mean, imagine an attorney walking in like that.
Yeah. And also, I just look at that, and that's what happens when you become a judge and you have too much power. Is no one would tell you, like, don't do that, because he was all week. He was like, you know what, Tory, I'm gonna wear that Elvis wig, and everybody's like, okay, judge. Like, your real friends would have been like, hey, I don't know if you're joking.
Yeah,
but
right.
Yeah, a real friend would stop that. So I just look. This is a man that is now out of work for 6 weeks, and he clearly has 0 friends. So good luck to this judge, and anybody that has been seen by him. I say go for it, bro. You never know.
You do. That's true. Apparently, he wore the wig in courtroom around Halloween and would offer people how they wanted to be sworn in, including an option where he played Elvis's music. I mean, I'm only laughing because, like, imagine you're the plaintiff
because it's hilarious.
No, that's like scary, and you've like a witness testifying.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it is something, but it did randomly remind me of one of my favorite bars we used to go to in New York City. It was a shots bar. Like, they did not serve cocktail, they just served shots, so what was going on.
Kind of place. Oh,
yes, and any drink that you ordered, like, you would get the Top Gun. The jukebox would blast the Top Gun theme song, and they would put a captain's hat and the glasses on you, and you take it was so much fun. Like, they had themed shot. It was so much fun. I lot of lost evenings in there. Wow. So a lot of lost evenings. So Tory, let's talk about this since we're talking about celebs. All right, Tory. That gasp is apropos of the story we're about to talk about, because Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, is opening up that in a recent that he had a recent health scare that forced him to cancel his tour last year. He called it during the tour an ailment, but what he's saying is basically, Tory, that he'd had a stroke.
Yeah.
I
He had
think
a
a lot of
whole
self look at him and I'm like, he's too young to have a stroke. What do you think?
well, first of all, his first thought was like, I'm always copying Jamie Foxx. But yeah, he had a hole in his heart and he had to have 2 different surgeries to fix it. And a stroke usually is like a blood clot from somewhere in the body. And that's how they
Mhm.
discovered the hole in the heart. So it's unbelievable because he's so quick and he's so
Yeah.
smooth. And then to think of him having a stroke is like, and then you wonder, was it stress? What I mean, is it, you know what I mean? Why the stroke? You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
It just
I
scared me. He
I'm gonna
scared.
read this because I
Yeah.
think this is really poignant. He says, Glover, who performs under the Childish Gambino moniker, uh, shared this on stage with Tyler the Creator at a festival in LA, and his remarks were basically, "You guys voted for a 'Where Have I Been' monologue from me, Childish Gambino. Yes, at age 42." He said, "I had a really bad pain in my head in Louisiana, and
Yes, that's right.
I did the show anyway." How
Right.
many people know they don't feel right, Tori? How many? I guarantee you, this our colleagues are more guilty of this because they're part of the generation, and I think we definitely are too, where you'll deal with it at 5 o'clock, even though you're
Yeah.
like,
You
my
gotta
head
do the show.
really hurts. Yes, you got to do the show. And so he says, I had really bad pain in my head in Louisiana, and I did the show anyway. I couldn't really see well. So when I went to Houston, I went to the hospital, and the doctor was like, "You had a stroke." Glover said he felt like he was letting everybody down, lamenting he hasn't been to Ireland, and also revealed that they found a hole in his heart. They say everybody has 2 lives, and the second life starts when you realize you have one. Wow.
That's a famous quote. It's a great quote.
I've never heard that, but that's really
It's a beautiful quote. When
yeah. So
you
Tori,
yeah.
I was just gonna say, Tori, it sounded like when he was saying, "Well, you do the show anyway," I didn't feel well. It sounded like that really resonated with you. Why was that?
Because first of all, I know you did stand up like right after your father died, which is crazy. But
Not a
I
great
know
idea.
people that have if you are having like a really bad headache, and often the doctors will say, "Does it feel like the worst headache you've ever had in your life?" My mom had 7 strokes, and my
Mm,
sister caught the first one, and the ambulance came, and they were like, "No, she's not having it." And then later in the evening, she had a second one. And,
mm,
it's it's easy to push through. It's easy. It's what our generation is about. I completely agree with you, and I hope this next generation takes, which I think it is, health so much more seriously, mental health as well, but I do think it's important, um, that when you have a headache that you have never felt before, you go immediately to the hospital. Even if you can smile, you can raise both arms. If you're having that kind of a headache, like it's like a vice and you've never had it that before, yeah, good call. There's an aneurysm happening or there's a stroke. And just to be clear with you guys, there's something called a clockbuster medicine, and it has to be given within 3 hours worth, I believe, 3 to 6, I think, I'm not sure, of the stroke to break the clot. And if you aren't in time, you've lost your chance. So I've always just been like hyper vigilant about stroke. So, but I
yeah.
also think people push through. I just think people really do.
I think they push through, and I mean, I think the best that we could ask for from ourselves, Tori, and the colleagues is not only to be willing to do that for ourselves, but also grant a little bit of grace to those that are like, "Hey, I'm taking a day off." Because
Yeah.
for me, when I would hear that, I'd be like, what is something wrong with you?" Unless there was like a flaming arrow
Yeah.
sticking out of your back, I'd be like, "Oh, you're fine."
Yeah.
And I had the same rules for myself, and I don't think that's a good thing.
No.
Yeah, my good friend that teaches, he's a professor at Washington U in St. Louis. He said it took him a second as a young professor because his students are obviously much younger generation. What is that, Gen Alpha? What's right above Gen Alpha?
Gen Z.
Maybe, yeah, Gen Z. And he was like, if I went to my emails from my students and typed in the phrase on my search bar, mental health day, he was like, it's just the whole page. And he was when we went to college. Can you imagine telling your professor you needed a mental health day? But maybe if we allow people to do that and give them grace doing that, we'll have less people having strokes and, kind of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know I told you there are 2 times in my life I've had depressive episodes. And one is in Michigan. And had I been able to just been like, I need some help and I need some time, changed my whole life,
Right.
So
All
yeah, I
right.
totally hear it. Yeah, men don't walk it off. Women don't work it off. Let me say one more thing. If you have an
Please.
instinct that something is wrong and you're like, no, I'll push through it. Listen to the instinct. I'm telling you, I am so hyper about this because it's happened so many times. People just forget about it. Or for women, your jaw hurts, you feel nauseous. That is a sign for women that they might be having a heart attack. And I just want you to it's always better to be safe than sorry. That's how I feel. Okay.
All right. Well said. I'm going to leave it on that. Let's do this. All right, Tory, without getting too deep into the political, obviously Zohran and Trump met and it was surprisingly affable.
No, not affable, Al. He was in love with Mamdani. The memes coming out of here are hysterical. When he's smiling, they find someone who looks at you like Trump looks at Mamdani. And then when they were like, do you think he's a fascist? And Trump's like, it's okay. You can say yes.
I think that moment when he said that, everybody was like, what?
And also, did you see the latest outfit change on Trump? He is wearing a turtleneck and a blazer now, no tie, which is the Mamdani look. And someone wrote, "Oh, Trump, it looks like I didn't realize you liked him."
Tory,
he is in love.
It's not like you would look at that clip and it was 2 politicians that had a somewhat contentious relationship. And because you were trying to entertain me or the colleagues, you were like, let me create a funny scenario like they really liked each other. Everybody had a similar takeaway because everybody was like, that's how I've acted before. When somebody really likes around, you're like, oh, you go ahead. I was done with that steak. Go ahead. No, take my car. It's fine.
I mean, that was such a love look. And we don't see Trump smile often. He's famously not very funny and he doesn't have a good sense of humor. So for him, smiling is the YMCA dance. And like Mamdani, I think he wants to be like Mamdani. There's the outfit.
Shut your mouth.
It was the next day.
Everyone.
It was the next day.
That's insanity. It's weirdly a good look for him. It's like,
yeah, it doesn't look bad, but he just saw what he saw is like a young Trump from New York making a big splash and doing non-conventional campaigning. That's Trump. That is Trump. And he likes that. And I think he thinks he wants that age group, but he wants that energy again. His polls are much lower, but man, he wants to be him.
It's really interesting. He'll go down as one of the strangest people that any of us will have spent time trying to analyze and understand. It's like this guy that like instantly grabbed the MAGA alpha man mantle and like, I'll say whatever I want. He also has tweets like Kate Hudson looking a little old he's got like catty old woman tweets about the way actors look. He's a very like hard person to pin down.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Strange. But I think Tory, he was feeling him.
He was feeling him. Again, we don't see that look for Melania. I mean, we just don't even see that. I think Michael Dean says, really funny, he's dressed like one of the Golden Girls.
Yeah, well, he's dressed like who was B. Arthur?
Yeah,
Dorothy.
Dorothy.
That was that. First of all, still an all-time show. Everything
Best
still holds
show ever.
up.
Best writing.
I felt like we needed to talk about that, and I'm so happy we could talk about that without discussing anything political, because anything political was on the back burner. That was just a very sup. I just have never seen anything like that, especially from like a sitting president whose kind of entire way of being known as being gruff, and we didn't see any of
I mean,
that.
that was very Ron Burgundy-esque, and that it's just very, you know what it is? It's so transparent. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's so transparent. Like the smiling, then the next day you're wearing his outfit.
I feel like that's something you would do.
I know. I was just thinking that.
That is a Tory at summer camp thing to do for sure.
Oh,
All right,
Lord.
let's do this. All right, Tory, we're talking about your girl, Princess Diana. I know you just really respect her as a person. Princess Diana revealed a private regret about Prince William and Prince Harry 10 days before her death. Says just days before her death, she shared a rare admission about her sons. And I guess she said this during her infamous Panorama interview. And what it says during a summer holiday in Greece in 1997, Diana traveled with a close friend, Rasa Monkton, for what would be their final vacation. And do you know this story? So I don't have to read this whole goddamn thing. What is it?
No, keep going. Keep going.
I thought you said you knew it. Okay.
Are you saying I don't know what story you're saying?
I'm doing the she said something in this interview. I don't know what was I can't find the controversial part.
Oh, at one point during an interview, she admitted about Camilla Bowles, and she said it was very crowded in that relationship because there were 3 of us, and it was outrageous for a someone to say that in the royal family. But the Panorama interview, I think was that the one that was Julia saying it was obtained under false pretenses. Yeah, she also talked about her struggle with bulimia, and so she just opened up like an enormous amount. And I just remember it was very crowded in our relationship. It was very crowded. And that was like, oh, whoa, dude. So I think she was worried about her sons getting hounded about it. But you know what? She wasn't a normal princess. She was just one of the people. She was one of the I love Diana. I love Princess Diana.
I mean, I think that if you look at her life and, just the way things have always been trending towards when it comes to power,
Yeah.
is over time that power becomes weaker and weaker to the point where a month ago, Prince Andrew lost all of his titles.
Yeah, I know.
And due to the accusations of a woman.
Yeah.
And the concept of that happening
Yeah.
5 years ago, 3
Yeah.
years ago would have been ludicrous. And I know, a lot of people's like, that's all that happened to him. Being banished, like somebody as powerful as him being banished and being stripped of his titles, that does show that the people's will matters. And I
Yeah.
think Diana was kind of ground zero for just like women or just people in general that even though she was in the monarchy, was clearly subjugated. She was the first one to be like, this isn't right.
Right.
And
That's how she snuck in
the
that
first
reporter.
person to say it, rather than drinking herself to death,
Right. Right. I mean, right.
and zonking out on pills.
I mean,
was
there's
just like, I don't like that. We all know what's going on, and that was
yeah,
huge.
she snuck in a recorder to make sure someone heard how she was being treated and offhanded by the royal company and how miserable she was and how about the affair. I also want to remind people when she went to go meet with that AIDS patient and they were like, wear gloves, and she took the gloves off and shook his hand and I think hugged him. But that handshake was so imperative to the way people saw people suffering from AIDS. She single-handedly did things that just change people's perspectives within an hour. I don't know. She didn't
Tori,
fit
do
in,
you
but
know who
man, you needed her.
weirdly nearly at ground zero in terms of people that helped recognize and introduce the public to people living with AIDS and HIV back in the day? Tammy Faye Baker.
Mhm.
Did you see that documentary on her?
Yeah, yeah.
And how she had one of the first like AIDS patients on for an hour, and he talked to her audience. And Tory, for what I thought about her and her husband, and I'm sure they did a lot of shady shit stuff. I know they did. What she did, and believe me, she got blowback from the church at the time. Having him on for an hour in front of her audience,
Yeah.
and humanize him and seeing that he laughs and he loves, and he's a person that's scared of this illness,
It's
but
a
like
huge deal.
he also loves who they love, who is Christ. it was a big deal for
Yeah.
somebody that's like, I'm not pro or anti anybody in that field. I was just like, good on you, Tammy Faye. So we do see a lot of names that I don't think maybe the most of the public knows, but there was a lot of people at Ground Zero for helping, you know, us have these conversations that roll off the tongue so easily now.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I mean, Tori, well, let me ask you this. You are in the public, much in the same vein as, you know, Princess Di. You guys are equal level of fame.
May she rest. Oh my God.
Yeah. What do you think about, like, what is your rule for talking about real people that are in your life? Even though, like, a lot of your life is talking about your real life, your real thoughts, your real, is it then disingenuous to say, or disingenuine to then say, I don't want you to know my father's name. I'll never like, is it good to have barriers? Or if it's like, if we're talking about Tory, then I need to know if you're seeing somebody. I'd like to see some pictures. You've brought me into your life and I'd like to see your life. Is that a fair statement from a viewer? Because I could see that as well.
Yeah, and I've also been really open, like, especially about my mom's death and the grief that follows. I think a lot of people were really touched that I would be so open about that, and it related to a lot of people who are going through grief. I've learned as I get older, and when I mean that, I mean, like, last 2 years, there needs to be stronger barriers for me. I need to have stronger barriers about who I speak to, about how I speak about it. I think I was a little too casual with the way I would talk about anybody. And I really thought
Yes.
boundaries are
Mhm.
very scary because I'm such a people pleaser. And I'm learning, I read a book called Set Boundaries, Find Peace, and I'm not good at it. I'm really bad at it. But creating a respectful boundary is something I'm learning to do. And it's something I need to do with my mouth too. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. I
So
promise I
yeah,
won't clip that. I totally agree.
my mouth, my mouth, my mouth. Oh man.
I mean, I totally agree. And I think when you're a person that does not have ill intentions,
Yeah, exactly.
that can jam you up twofold. One is that you can get a little too comfortable and not realize that everybody ain't you. Like I always said, everybody ain't you, Doug. And
Yeah.
I know people are like, well, I would go pick my husband up from the airport if he's in town. Some people are like, you know what? He's a grown man. He'll take the train.
Yeah.
Either
Yeah.
one's fine. But I think everybody just assumes this is how it's done. And it's
Yeah.
different for everybody. And I think with personality types, and we are very similar, I could get too comfortable. And somebody be like, hey, don't talk about my wife like that. And I'd be like, oh, you know, and I wouldn't go that far, but I could see myself, you know, trying to crack jokes, make people laugh. Like jokes are about pushing the line. And sometimes you realize, like,
Totally.
oh, their line is a lot different
Totally.
than ours.
And you need to be respectful of that. And I think even on DBL, like I would say things where I'm like, did my mom want me to explain how sick or the wheelchair part or my sister? I mean, there's things that and now they're people that I have to figure out and have boundaries. And I'm working so hard on therapy on learning how to do this. It does not come easy for a codependent or a people pleaser. It's very uncomfortable to think someone might be mad at you, but I'm really trying. I'm really trying,
Yeah.
and it's like brick by brick. Like I'm going pretty slow here.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that I don't think that it's talked about enough, because what you hear people say all the time, Tori, is they're saying, I'm doing a lot of work on myself. So, like you are saying, I'm working on not invading Al's boundaries. If he said he doesn't want a text message before 10 a.m., I try and respect that, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
But I think the part of that can also kind of come back on you is like you also have to realize other people still are not going to grant you that same grace. It'd be nice if they did, but
Right.
I think for me, I've definitely had to deal with my own kind of internal anger and frustration, because you know, when people have assumed things of me or said things about me, and I'm like, you know, I would never ask that. I would never say that about you. I would never do that to you, but that doesn't mean that people won't do it back to you. So you have to be very disarmed when you're dealing with people, understand their boundaries, but also have your armor up just in case, like, everybody isn't going to treat you on the level that your mama would or your daddy would.
Yeah. Which I
So
kind of
it's like
yeah.
twofold. You're
Yeah,
very
yeah.
vulnerable too. And I feel
Yeah.
like you'd be the kind of person like, oh yeah, take my debit card and just meet me in the lobby tomorrow. And like
Totally.
other people would be like, I don't know what to tell you. You know, I don't have any money. But I think
Right.
you would give somebody your debit card, and if they don't give it back. Not that that would ever be a scenario, but you'd be like, but I would do that for you.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
weird place that we're in.
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough. I feel like, and I see what you guys are saying. Like Shelley says, change takes time. Speak compassionate with yourself, which is so true. But I just didn't think it'd be that hard. I don't know. I've really come to understand, like, it's probably one of the deepest held beliefs I have is that everyone has to like me or else there's terror. And
Right.
everyone, it's just so interesting how deeply misconstrued that is, and yet just difficult.
And it also probably has to do with how much you analyze the relationships. If you're a regular at a bar and you've been going there for 15 years and you walk in, everybody's like, Tory, oh, you're so crazy. I had fun at karaoke. That's great. You could go to that bar for 20 years. The number of people that, like, after you get sober that you're friends with from that bar, I would say would probably drop dramatically.
Yeah.
So during those 20 years, was it one of those situations where you were like, oh, everybody in here likes me, but you just hadn't analyzed those relationships? And is that okay? Is that okay to
Yeah.
just kind of live the placebo? Like, hey, for today, I got a bunch of friends and we're all taking shots. I'm kind of okay with that too.
Yeah. Right.
All right, Tori, let's get to this because we've been missing your facts lately. And
We'll have a good one.
You
Wait, what was
better.
it? My good one.
Wait, well, let me run the thing first.
Okay.
It seems like you don't have it. I'm very
No, I
worried.
can't remember. I said it today.
I'm very worried. Tori, speak to us.
Okay, you guys ready for this one?
Ready.
Okay. Okay. How long do you think the human circulatory system is?
Isn't it from here to the moon?
I don't know, but it's
if stretched end to end.
yes. Michael Dean says 3 miles. Do it in miles. How many miles do you think?
I didn't know we were going to be doing conversions on here. How many ounces is it? I don't know.
Okay, sorry. I don't know if this is good. It's 60,000 miles.
Boo. That's not even enough to get you upgraded to silver.
Okay. How many peanuts does it take to make a jar of peanut butter?
That's a good one. How many peanuts does it take to make a jar of peanut butter? I'm going to say 1,150.
Okay. Does anyone else have one? How many peanuts does it take to make a jar of peanuts? I hope I got this right.
Gee, Tori.
Oh, I can't believe you cheated, Michael Dean. It's 540 peanuts.
Okay. We need to do another one because that was awful.
Okay, here's one more. I can't believe I don't remember the good one I had. Okay. Lemons will float in water, but limes will sink.
Is that a declarative statement? Okay, lemons. Yeah. Do they say why?
No.
I'm sure there's a reason to it. You just can't say no. We don't know.
They didn't say. It just says lemons.
But there's definitely a reason.
In water and lime float and lime sink because of the difference in their density. Yeah, one's heavier than the other.
Well, I think probably the skin on them is very different, and so like maybe their skin, some absorbs water, some does not. That's what I would think.
Okay. And then something else is we actually cross-pollinated to make a lemon. So the world never handed us lemons. We created lemons.
Oh, there were no lemons?
No, they were cross-pollinated by 2 different citrus fruits, and that's how we got lemon. Brandon says limes can't swim.
Okay, that does. Okay, I do have a question because sometimes when you go to other countries, like you'll be in South America or just somewhere where they have a totally different climate, they'll have like a fruit that's like a combination of a fruit.
Yeah.
And they're like, and they'll be like, this is like a lime and a grapefruit. And it looks like, and you're like, what? And no one ever talks about that fruit. But when you'll be over somewhere, you're like, oh, I want that. Like, how come no one makes a soda like that? So yeah, that makes sense.
Like dragon fruit. I think I just started learning about that.
I'm so tired. Stop making up effing flavors. What's the other one?
Dragon fruit's a real fruit with black dots. You wouldn't like it because you have the dot fear.
Right. Yes. But what about monk fruit? What is that?
I think it's spiky. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you this. shout out to World Market because they any city that you're in, they got the best candy besides like an old school candy factory. But World Market has candy from all over the world, and they have this lychee hard candy from
I
Japan.
can't stand lychee.
You are out of your effing mind. Lychee is the reason why this whole planet exists. It's delicious. Are you
I
crazy?
I don't love it. I don't like it.
See, I don't
it.
like cantaloupe and melon. I'm tired of being bullied into this like
I
a fresh
don't-
breakfast with cantaloupe. I'm like, I won't even know I'm eating it.
I know it's wet air. It's wet air. Cantaloupe is the worst. But I do like the orange one, honeydew. Is that honeydew or is the other one?
Honeydew is the best of the worst. They should call it it'll do until you get to the real stuff. Where's the pineapple, bro? Because you know what? Nobody's ever said taste this cantaloupe. It's better than pineapple. Have they? I rest my case.
No, it's just
Shut
like-
my briefcase. I'm sorry.
Man, you know what I also don't love and people really like? Endive.
I don't know what that is.
It's a white vegetable that people put in their salads and it's just like bitter and tastes like black licorice. Oh, honeydew is green. I don't care for the honeydew. I got to
I
be
thought
honest.
honeydew was like orange.
No, that's the cantaloupe. Wait, is that the cantaloupe?
I thought
Is
the cantaloupe was
orange.
I thought the cantaloupe was like lime green. Sorry, you're shaking your head at this whole conversation. I
Cantaloupe
just didn't
is
even look
orange.
over there.
Cantaloupe is orange. Okay, I prefer cantaloupe than honeydew. That's fair.
I wanted to ask you and the colleagues this, even though like it has nothing to do with anything, but it kind of has to do with this conversation. I was shopping for veggies the other day, and I was like, "What in the Sam hell do you put radishes in?"
Another waste of your time. Waste of your time.
What is it? What do you put? I've never talked to a friend and be like, a little secret radish. Radishes are good when you boil them. You just got to put some peppercorn and a little bit of how do you make radishes good? What do you put them in? Are they for soup?
My mom would put salt on them. But again, you're right. I feel like radish is like a starving ration fruit. Like
radishes are like that.
I'm starving and I needed to eat boiled radish.
Oh, Mexican food. What
radishes have no taste to me whatsoever. Some people put it in their salad. I don't get it.
Hold on. Tara's telling me what? Tacos. Yeah, tacos. Where do you put them in the tacos?
Radishes in your tacos?
Like a shredded pork with some salsa and
shredded pork, salsa, and radishes. See?
avocado.
And avocado. This is why we have a multitude of wonderful people around us. I would have never known that.
Yeah, I did know that. I did know.
Now we won't get.
People eat them raw. Yeah, my mom would eat them raw, and endive was just salt on them. I should stop making that hand gesture.
Oh yeah, well, and now are radishes in the same family as turnips? All right,
they're tubers. You grow them from the ground, in the ground.
Oh, so they're like carrots?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's how you grow a radish, like garlic.
Okay, all right, Tor, we're gonna go before we lose all our followers. They're still here because they just like us. Because after I heard radishes, I would have been like, and block. Colleagues, we love you. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 3 p.m. If you're in Dallas, Fort Worth area this weekend, come check me out. We love you. Michael Dean, take us out.